Tennessee looks to start hot against Arkansas coming off the bye week. Last season's matchup didn't go the way we hoped. Will Joey Aguilar be the reason we win big on Rocky Top? Oh, we're going to talk about this. Welcome to the Vol Patriot Podcast. I am your host, the Vol Patriot, Patriot of the Volunteer Nation, and my co-host, J-Mello. This podcast is for the people, by the people, specifically Tennessee football, but also college football as a whole. We're going to cover weekly updates, pregame and postgame reviews, in-game specifics, and of course, hot takes. We will talk about things that most sports podcasts are afraid to discuss. You'll hear it here and only here on the Vol Patriot Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, go Big Orange, go Vols. Good morning, Vol faithful. Another beautiful day on God's green earth. Tennessee set to do battle against Arkansas around 4:15 this Saturday. J-Mello is with us. Jay, what are your thoughts about this game?
Obviously, the biggest thing is it's a redemption game against Arkansas. You lost against Arkansas last year in Arkansas. However, this year is a little bit different. You play in Neyland, so you have that to your advantage. Arkansas has since fired Sam Pittman, so that could be an advantage or disadvantage. Bobby Petrino is back as interim head coach. He had a very successful career as Arkansas's head coach in the early 2000s. Of course, there was some drama surrounding him and his firing, but they brought him back for a reason.
Motorcycle scandal.
From what I understand, he's a really good offensive coach. He has since fired all of the defensive staff. I don't know, it's kind of a weird game in the sense that I'm sure Tennessee and Josh Heupel and the players were kind of all expecting a Sam Pittman football team. And granted, Sam Pittman has just been gone and Bobby Petrino's just now in. So I'm sure there's some lingering Sam Pittman tendencies, but you're essentially playing against a team that you're unfamiliar with at this point. We don't know how much Bobby Petrino has decided to change up this Arkansas team. Your biggest advantage is playing in Neyland. We all know what Neyland Stadium is like on any given Saturday. It does not matter what Saturday it is, who you guys are playing in Neyland Stadium. The Vol Nation will be there without a doubt.
I totally agree with that. I really think the Sam Pittman firing is definitely a shakeup, not just for the Arkansas program, but it's got to be for us as well. I mean, we've kind of seen what Bobby Petrino wants to do, but we don't know how much Sam Pittman had a control in what Petrino was doing fully offensively. Back in the day, I have to say that, ran a similar but different offense. They were more under center, so I guess it was more of the spread. But now he's definitely moved into a shotgun formation. They do run kind of a weird flex, like a pistol flex formation, if you will. I don't know. And they've definitely gone more into a empty sets at times. It's going to be interesting to see what Bobby Petrino dons against Tennessee this Saturday. To be honest with you, I've tried to research his offensive play, and the best I can go off is what he's done this season with Arkansas. So under Neyland Green, it's going to be an interesting game. This guy is talented, which actually leads us into our stats. We'll actually start with Arkansas and kind of what they've done this season. Neyland Green, I think, is responsible for a total of 1,800 plus yards. Obviously not all passing. He's got 1,300, 1,400 passing yards and a total of 441 rushing yards. Jay, why don't you get into the stats there for us?
You're right. Neyland Green has almost 1,400 passing yards, 1,398 to be exact, and he has 441 rushing yards with 54 carries, which is very impressive in my opinion. Honestly, I was just looking at Arkansas's record for this year, and they're 2-3, which is really odd to me when you actually look at them on paper. I feel like this year has been interesting to see all of these teams on paper look so much different than in the actual game.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it with Texas versus Florida. I don't know. It's just bizarre to see these types of numbers. And maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just officially diving deep into these stats and I'm seeing them for what they really are at this point. But as far as the rest of the team goes, Mike Washington Jr. has 61 carries for 393 yards, and Braylon Russell has 32 carries for 135 yards. The team as a whole has 168 carries for 1,069 yards. Their receiving yards are just as good as their rushing yards. Omega Blake has caught the ball 30 times for 399 yards. Rohan Jones has caught the ball 6 times for 220 yards, which seems like a lot. Raylan Sharp, 14 times for 173 yards. We're looking at a total of 103 catches for just over 1,500 yards. It's nothing to shake a stick at. To me, looking at it on paper, they are not this mediocre team that's a big joke. Their offense looks like they've got some really significant players that can do some damage to a defense if they're not prepared for it.
Yeah, so Arkansas's offense has much improved since last year, especially under Bobby Petrino. So this is also kind of part of that Bobby Petrino offense and how they kind of create some motion. They do a lot of motion plays and kind of get you out of your element, try to see what the defense is lined up as. And then they do a little misdirection plays and so on, and a lot of read plays to kind of see who's crashing, who's not. So this is just kind of something we've seen throughout this season with a lot of teams doing a lot of eye candy-like things, just trying to see what you're doing, see if you're going to be disciplined. And Bobby Petrino has a lot of experience in this department. So when you have a quarterback like Taylon Green, you can make those plays and get those good throws out, beat the defense when they're in bad position, all these good things you want coming from your offense. So they have the talent. It may not be a lot, but they definitely have the talent, the first 22 guys, both offense and defense, in my opinion. And once again, this is going to be a challenge for Tim Banks, play calling wise, to make sure he puts our guys in the proper position to be successful. He did it against Mississippi State, and we're going to have to continue to see it in Arkansas. You know, you're at home. Let the crowd be what the crowd's going to be. Crank up the pressure, and ultimately don't find yourself in a third down where we're playing prevent defense and they just eat us up over the middle or whatnot, because they have the offense to do it. All right, Jay, so tell us about some of their defensive guys.
Yeah, their biggest defensive player right now is Xavier Sori Jr. He has a total of 34 tackles. Two other guys you really want to watch are Phillip Lee. He has 21 total tackles, but 2.5 sacks. And then Quincy Rhodes Jr. has 19 tackles, but 5 sacks, which to me, again, seems like a lot. Overall, the defense as a whole has 11 total sacks. And that's something that Josh Heupel and Joey Aguilar are going to have to look out for.
Yeah, Jay, I totally agree with that. I think our offense is going to have to continue to protect Joey Aguilar, as they have done this season. I think they've only given up like 3 sacks in total, which is an impressive number for Tennessee's offense so far. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about our guys and kind of get like a stat update on some of our key players, Jay.
So obviously your main guys, Joey Aguilar, Deshaun Bishop, Chris Brazzell, Arian Carter, they are your top dogs, right?
Yeah.
Joey Aguilar, I say, still leads the SEC in total passing yards because you had a bye week last week and Ty Simpson is only up on him by 16 yards or 17 yards, something like that. So I still consider Joey to be leading, biased or not. Deshaun Bishop, 335 rushing yards. Chris Brazzell, I mean, that man, 531 receiving yards. Arian Carter, 49 tackles. I think it's important to note, because you did talk about him early on, Peyton Lewis. He is climbing, he's got 167 rushing yards, and you talked about him early on, to not underestimate him. It's just going to take one game, and he's going to be this breakout running back. And it never hurts to have, these great running backs in your depth chart. So I think that as the season continues to progress, you'll see Peyton Lewis handle the ball a little bit more. Like I said, Chris Brazzell, come on. And then, of course, Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley. And honestly, I think that those two could be up there a little bit higher if they would catch the ball and hold on to it.
Yeah, our wide receivers have got to do a better job at catching the football. You're completely right. Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley, probably a couple of catches away from being up there with Chris Brazzell. Speaking of why our offense has done so well, our offensive line, just the straight reason why Joey Aguilar has had so much time. Left tackle, Lance Hurd, all right? At left guard, we have Shamarad Umarov. This name sounds like some sort of Thundercat out here about to do some work on you. Have you seen this guy with the face paint and everything else? He's a beast, all right? Our center, Sam Pendleton, he's got that nose guard piece. This dude's ready for work. Wendell Moy Jr., beast, all right? Beast. That was a great pickup out of the transfer portal. Enough said about that young man. And then we have Jesse Perry. This guy was sitting on the bench waiting for his turn. David Sanders, beast of a recruit, comes in, day one starter. However, he gets injures his shoulder. We're not quite sure. So Jess gets his opportunity to shine. And the guy never looked back. It's really he puts us in a position of where you put David Sanders in or you don't, and you're still going to get the production from your offense. I hate to be in Josh Heupel's shoes to make a decision on who's going to start, but our offensive line is just straight nasty, and I love it. Okay, going into some injuries for Tennessee, let's go ahead and get the elephant out the room. Jermod McCoy, probably not going to play in this one. I hate it because you want to see him at least get in this game and get some repetitions. So when the Alabama game comes up, hey, he's probably in a better position to give it a full go. So now you kind of wonder, are we going to see him at all this season? I don't know. It's kind of a frustrating thing. Ricky Gibson's still out. Now, of course, we got Jackson Moy in our last game against Mississippi State, so he'll be in a much better position to give it a full go in this game against Arkansas. But big news for our defensive line is David Hobbs should be starting, or at least get in the game for the Arkansas matchup. So that's big news for our D-line. Add some beef, add some skill and experience. Really good to get him back. So outside of that, not much has changed. But just getting that guy back is big, and hopefully we get Jermod McCoy back sometime this season because we're going to need him. At some point, we're going to need him. Even if we don't see him in the Alabama game, we still have Oklahoma and everyone else to play against. So got to see some progression there. Love to see some progression there, but ultimately he's got to do what's best for him. Okay, so Jay, let's talk a little bit about some of the key players in this game.
Yeah, I think your key players are going to be much of the same. Joey Aguilar needs to show up, show out, do exactly what he has done every single game since coming to Tennessee. And Chris Brazzell needs to do the same as well. Those two together are unstoppable. And it just needs to continue moving forward. Your run game is your run game, and it's
always going to be there.
It's always going to be there. Yeah. It's always going to do well. Your offensive line is going to need to shine. And, of course, your defense. I'm going to be completely honest here. This game makes me a little uneasy because I feel like Tim Banks might regress a little bit in his play calling abilities. Now, you've got some people like Arion Carter who can counterbalance that a little bit because he's a beast out there. But if Tim Banks doesn't set your secondary up for success right out of the gate, I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I was thinking of that myself, and I didn't want to say nothing because I'm trying to give him his chance. He stepped up. made great play calling in the Mississippi State game. We got to see more of that. We have to see more of that. The secondary has to be set for success. I think early and often, especially in that Georgia game, we ran a lot of cover one. And I mean, when you, like I said before, when you vacate two safeties and you kind of have just one, and he's having to roll coverage left and right, the whatever, side he thinks is the ball may be going, it's a recipe for disaster. And as you saw, Ty Redmond got cooked a couple of times, even though when I say cooked, I say mildly, because he was right there to make the play, but he got beat. And so you kind of have to, as Chris Doring and Peter Burns said when I called into the show, SEC this morning, Tim Banks has to adjust to the personnel. We don't have Jamad McCoy. We don't have Ricky Gibson. All right, cool. What do we have? Well, we still have other players in position that, have the experience and the skill. So let's go ahead. Let's run a cover two, get two safeties out there and kind of guard the skies and force everything short. And then bring your guys up, right? Bring your corners up and say, we're going to play man because we don't think you can beat our coverage down the field, right? We got to do more of that. I believe Tim Banks did that in the Mississippi State game. He did more of that, I should say. So I agree with that statement. That's going to be something to look out for. Our offense is going to do what our offense is going to do. I think the biggest thing for our offense is the offensive line. The offensive line has to be who they've been all season long. That's what's going to free up the run game. That's going to create those holes so the running backs can just run through, right? That's what's going to give Joey Aguilar all day in the world to find the right guy. And he doesn't need much time, right? He doesn't need much time to find him. He can do it. So those are my keys. And I mean, you've already mentioned it. Arion Carter, straight dog. As long as he's out there, he's going to get our guys in the right position and he's going to make the plays. Our defense as a whole is solid. Tim Banks, got to come through for us in this one.
The only other thing that I will add is that I believe you have to stay aggressive this entire game. Last year and the year before, when you guys came off of bye weeks, you sort of came out slow. Your game against Arkansas last year was after a bye week. Your game against Florida last year was also after a bye week, and you guys almost lost that game in overtime. I don't know what it is about the bye week that causes Tennessee to sort of stumble a little bit. Oftentimes people say that the bye weeks help the players get healthy and kind of rejuvenate them. It seemed to have the opposite effect on Tennessee the last couple of years. That could have been a quarterback thing as opposed to just like a whole team thing. But you have to come out aggressive right away against this Arkansas team. Just because they're under new management doesn't necessarily mean that they're crumbling. This new management could have a great positive effect on that team. And if Josh Heupel and Tim Banks and the rest of the team do not come out ready to go and locked in, it could be a big problem right as you start this game.
Jay, you know what? Wow. What a point you made. And let's just go ahead and call him out. Nico Iamaleava, a.k.a. Nico Amaleavin, might have been a big reason why offensively, we started so cold with the troubles he was having reading the coverages and whatnot. You come out of the bye week, the team seems a little sluggish. You really need some inspired play from your quarterback maybe, and your quarterback's getting sacked. Your quarterback's not making the right throws. All of a sudden the offense struggles, and it's up to the defense, which the defense, I'll say this, the defense didn't look like they started out slow. In both of those games that you mentioned, the Florida game and the Arkansas game, I think we kept them under 20 points. So the defense was stand out, but it was just the offense. So that's actually a good point. Definitely have to come out of the bye with the mentality of, let's go get it. Good point there, Jay. All right, guys, final thoughts. Stay away from motorcycles and blondies. Could get you in a lot of trouble in a neck brace. All jokes aside, Tennessee's got to stay aggressive in this one. Come out hot, and look, don't take your foot off the pedal. If you're Josh Heupel, we know you're going to eventually do it. Just make sure that you're up at least by 50. And defensively, we have to lock in. And that's our coordinator as well. I think if Tennessee comes out of the bye week and they mean business, You can have mistakes made in this game. Obviously, no one's perfect. But if you come out, fire off on the football, and just lock in, I think that might eliminate some of the slower starts. Obviously, our wide receivers need to catch the football, and that's part of it. And the biggest thing, Boo Carter has to be returning punts. I don't want to see Braylon Staley. I don't want to see anyone else. If it's not Boo Carter, I don't care. It better be Boo Carter returning the punts. Jay, anything you want to add to that?
I agree. Seeing Boo Carter as your punt returner would be phenomenal. I think that Joey Aguilar is going to come out hot. I think Chris Brazzell is going to come out hot. I don't think you're going to see a lull when it comes to your quarterback and your wide receiver this year. Those two are they're too dynamic with each other for there to be that kind of problem. But play calling is going to be your biggest thing on both sides of the football. So I think as long as they stay aggressive and do not count out this Arkansas team under Bobby Petrino, and I think you'll be fine.
J-Mello, as always, dropping the little wisdom nuggets for us. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. We definitely appreciate you guys supporting us. Get us out there. Help us out. And as always, go Big Orange, go Vols.